Hi guys and welcome back to another video. I'm Shah and this is Thoroughly Enjoyed Books. In today's video I will be talking about my August TBR. Now, I don't know if you've noticed on my channel, I very rarely do TBRs. I occasionally do them for like readathons and things like that, but I very rarely have a stringent TBR. However, in August I definitely have a stringent TBR. I am currently a part of so many book clubs and so many readathons and read-alongs and buddy reads and things like that, that I got a lot of books that I need to get to. I've got a little stack here as well as some other books that I want to talk to you about as books that I will likely be reading in August, and they're all bloody huge. Let's just dive right into them. The first book I have is actually for my own book club, which is the Dog-Eared Book Club that I run with Shannon from 155 Books, and we are reading The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is a fantasy novel that I've no idea what it's about other than it's really good, it's really diverse, and it's really complicated. So I've had people warning me about this book because I've had a bit of a break from fantasy and apparently this is quite difficult to get into. It's one I'm definitely really excited to get to, but I'm a bit anxious about as well. And I've also seen a few book clubs on Twitter talking about this book recently, so I think it's quite popular to be reading as a book club book at the minute. So even though it's technically for my book club, I'm going to take part in any live shows that I can find about this. Then the next book that I have is one that is for, I believe it's called The World Readers Book Club, hosted by Sabine from Sabine's Book Nook. And I am really excited for this book. And it is The Poppy War by A.R.F. Kuang. I've never read anything about Chinese culture before, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Again, it's one I know very little about, other than I know it's quite intense, but I've also been told that this one is a lot easier to get into than The Fifth Season. I haven't heard a single negative review about this. A lot of people are currently reading the second book, which is The Dragon Republic, and I think this is just basically set in China and has a lot of Chinese history, and it looks at the opiate wars, I think, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm excited to get to it at some point. You might have noticed that recently I did a video called Intimidating Reads, and there's a lot of big books on that, and I want to make more of an effort to read some more of those books. I am making the conscious effort to read at least one book a month from that stash, and for that it is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. I love Sarah Waters. I've mentioned this book a lot lately because I really want to read it, which is why it has made it onto this TBR. And this is about a family in the 1940s, and basically the house is haunted, but I think it is one of those books where we're never quite sure whether it's real ghosts or psychological ghosts or the ghosts of the history of the people living there. If you know anything about Sarah Waters, you will know that she primarily writes queer fiction. However, this one isn't that at all, so I'm very intrigued to read this. And I'm reading this because I have to read all of Sarah Waters' books for university because I'm doing my dissertation on her for my master's degree. So I better get cracking on this. One that has snuck into this TBR, and I'm not 100% sure when we're going to be reading this, but it could be one that I read this month with Jean from Bookish Thoughts, and that is The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite. This is a female-female romance book, and I believe it's also a little bit sci-fi, historical, and all that kind of thing. And I've heard it's fantastic, and I really want to get to it. This was a housewarming gift from the lovely Jean, as I've mentioned, from Bookish Thoughts. So it is a book that I desperately want to get through to. And whilst we're talking about Jean, let's just mention Greek Myths, also by Jean. So this is a Greek mythological book written by our lovely Jean from Bookish Thought, Jean Mingus, and illustrated by Katie Ponder. Now, I'm not going to show this off too much because I'm sure you've seen it all over BookTube at the minute because, like I said, Jean is one of our own beautiful illustrated Greek myths for children, and I am so proud of Jean for working on this and writing this, and I think it's absolutely stunning. And I definitely plan on reading this one in August as well. And then there are two books that I haven't quite arrived yet, but books that I do really want to read, and the first of those is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This is a book all about performative allyship, written by a black woman. I'm sure you have seen the Reading Rush drama where this was picked as a group book that nobody knew about, and then when it came to the live show it was unfortunately laughed off as something that hadn't been completed. So the Unfriendly Black Hotties have taken on this book as their pick for August, and I've decided I'm going to read it as well because it sounds really interesting. It has just been longlisted for the Man Booker Prize for this year, which is insane, and it just sounds fantastic. So I've ordered a copy of this and it is currently on its way to me, so hopefully I will have it pretty soon. And then the last book that I currently have on my August TBR, I don't think I'm going to read all these books, guys, I don't know what I'm going to do, is The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman, which is the second book in his Dark Materials. I've been recently reading this series with Ashley or Ahava from Ashley Faith. Go and subscribe to her, I'll leave links down below, she's fantastic. And this is the second book in his Dark Materials, which is a really complicated series to talk about. I don't know how you talk about it actually. What is this book about? It's basically about this world that is starting to discover that there are alternative universes, and two scholar type, scientist type guys, one male, one female, are trying to uncover the secrets of alternate worlds. And it's got a lot of like religious aspects to it. See, I'm really struggling to talk about this, but if you know what his Dark Materials is, you know what I mean. I plan on reading that because I haven't read that book since I was about 12, and I really think I need to give it a reread before watching the TV show. So these are the books currently on my August TBR. I don't usually do a TBR, like I said, but this month I just think I needed to because there's a lot going on. Let me know if you have read any of these books, and if so, let me know what you thought of them, because I'd love to hear your thoughts before I dive into them and during reading them as well, because I'm sure that with all these different types of books there's going to be a lot of opinions. As usual, I will leave the links down below to my Twitter and my Goodreads and all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Take care. Bye.